All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Morning Cafe. It's a Feel Good Friday, but today is a special day because we are shifting gears and we want to talk matters FGM. It's the 6th of February 2026. It's the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. The theme this year, 2026, is towards 2030, no end to FGM without sustained commitment and investment. Of course, this is a global call to millions, or reminder that millions of girls are still at risk of this harmful practice that violates their rights, health, and of course dignity as well. And we have the World Vision in studio to have this conversation with us. We have big dreams to end child marriage programs director, World Vision Kenya, Teresa Otieno. She'll be taking us through the progress that we have made in as far as ending FGM is concerned. The question of the day we're asking this morning is, today is International Day of Zero Tolerance for FGM. As a society, are we doing enough to protect girls, or are culture and silence still winning? Of course, the hashtag is Morning Cafe TV47 and World Vision Kenya. Let's have some feedback to set the stage for this conversation. Job Latimari is saying, it's an age-old practice. Kudos, we've become of age as a society. Sergio Bryant, our culture is vocal on FGM, considering organizations like Usikimye and activists coming up to advocate for zero tolerance on FGM. But the national government, through shifts, should do more, particularly in ASL counties, considering FGM practices are high in that area. Boaz anasema Kenya has clear laws criminalizing FGM. The issue is not legislation, but enforcement and reporting. Culture cannot override a child's rights. We must speak up, report cases, and hold perpetrators accountable. TV47 Kenya is our social media platforms on Facebook and on YouTube, and on X it's TV47 Digital. You can tag me at @Ann_Odida. Once again, the hashtag is Morning Cafe TV47, and World Vision will be sure to read your comments as we continue with this conversation. But Teresa, as we start this conversation, give us an overview of your involvement as World Vision with as far as ending FGM is concerned.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anne. Yes, my name is Teresa. As World Vision, we are involved in child protection across 33 counties in Kenya. And so we have been in existence for now 51 years, trying to ensure that all children stay safe from violence against children. And one of the violence is FGM, and we are really commemorating this day to be able to ensure that we remember first the survivors, being able to listen to their voices, and it's through the survivors that we'll be able to at least ensure that when we amplify their voices, then they'll be able to at least have a listening ear, both at the county level, national level, and even at the international level. Apart from that, as World Vision, we focus on ensuring that we have good political will, community engagement, and also enough support, including government support, so that we can be able to really address FGM in the country. So far we have really involved much when it comes to child protection, and in particular FGM. Yeah. So
when you say you are involved in 33 counties, we are 47 counties, and somebody might wonder, what happens to the other, is it 14 counties, right? Is it that these 33 are the counties that, you know, FGM is quite prevalent and the other 14 are safe?
In the 33 counties, not necessarily even FGM alone, but issues of child protection prevalences are very high. And so that's the reason why we focus on the 33 counties. Before we had a presence in 37, but through our intervention we have been able to see results, positive results, that has now made us narrow down to 33, where there is still high prevalences of violence against children, including FGM.
All right. I want to take you back to 2019. The government then dedicated to end FGM by 2026. We are in 2026. What's the progress?
Yeah, there is progress, and a lot of effort has been made towards at least realizing the progress that we have made so far. Like data of 2003 indicates that we were at 31% FGM nationally. That moved down to, in 2024, to 21%. And not in 2014 it was at 21%, and in 2022 at 14.7%. So you know that progression in terms of national data already indicates that we are making progress towards realizing zero tolerance to FGM. Yeah.
What's holding us back? Why can't we, be full hands-on in just, eradicating FGM, especially in counties that this vice still persists? We are in 2026. We still see cases of FGM, families that refuse to really just put this behind. What are we doing wrong? Where are the gaps?
It's not necessarily linked to what we are doing wrong, but it's more of, FGM is a cultural issue, and it's a social norm that takes time for us to be able to realize behavior change. So remember, this FGM is something that the communities that practice it has been with it for a very long time. So for us to realize behavior change, it takes time. And so I'll not really say that it is a wrong approach, because for us also to be able to progress from those higher percentage to now 14.7%, it means that we have made progress. But one of the things that maybe we need really to enforce and strengthen is partners coordination, because we realize that organizations are doing the same thing but differently. So sort of just ensuring that we strengthen coordination among partners, and this can be done very well by the government, because government is the one that has responsibility. The stakeholders are just there to support. Then another component is having good political will, so that even as much as we are talking about votes, at least we should put the interest of the child at the center, because FGM contributes to girls dropping out of school and eventually child marriage, early teenage pregnancies. So being able to tackle issues that are linked to FGM really call for good political will, whereby a politician can just stand and say FGM is bad, and so any perpetrator should be put on book. But you realize that to date, much interventions have been realized through local community engagement, being able to reach out to the communities directly, being able to work directly with the local administrators, unlike politicians being able to really come out strongly and say that we need to stop FGM and it's a violation of children's rights. Yeah.
And most of the time when we talk about FGM, of course, it's hard to separate it from child marriages. So somebody might wonder, how are these two related? When you talk about, child marriage and FGM, what's the correlation?
Yeah, in most communities, I'd say 90% of the communities where child marriage is present, you realize that there is FGM. So like in Turkana, we don't have FGM, but we have child marriage. But in these other counties that we have a presence in, you realize that once FGM has been conducted, then it leads to child marriage. So already it shows us that this is a social norm issue, a cultural issue that has been embedded in the community, and that is what actually is contributing to some girls not being able to realize their God-given full potential. And so apart from it being a social norm, also when FGM is conducted, you realize that both are linked to addressing economic gain. The communities believe that any girl who has undergone FGM has higher value in terms of dowry, unlike a girl who has not gone through FGM. So, and of course, also dowry is linked to marriage. So it's like FGM uplifts the level at which, the price of a girl, and also child marriage here is what will materialize to. So they are linked in terms of economic issues, and also they are linked in terms of social, but again, they are linked in terms of a vicious cycle of poverty, because once a girl has gone through FGM, then this girl will drop out of school, this girl will get married off, and because she doesn't have any economic income, or she has not been able to go through education fully, then the vicious circle when it comes to poverty will continue going on and affecting even the children that she'll have after after that. Yeah.
But does it serve the communities right? Because somebody might wonder if now communities that, for example, that you interact with as World Vision, now they do FGM to, of course, quote unquote, increase the status of the girl. Does it really serve them right in the long term, from how you see it?
Of course, it doesn't serve them long or for a long time, because there'll be that immediate gain in terms of dowry, and probably they'll use the dowry to take maybe the boys within the household to school, and also considering the needs within the family, the dowry will be used to address. But you know, income requires continuous, being able to get continuous income as days goes by. So eventually this dowry will get over. And the next thing is that they'll be looking towards the next daughter to get married. So eventually it's a harm to the child or the girl herself, but also it doesn't benefit the community. And that's why as World Vision, our focus is really to ensure that we sensitize the community, we create awareness so that they may be able to know the dangers that contribute to, that we get as a result of a child going through FGM. And through that, we are able even now to introduce programs like alternative rite of passage, where we take the girls through the mentorship programs, and also for the perpetrators of FGM, including the female circumcisers and even the family, we are able to provide them with alternative income generating activities where they are able at least to get income and allow their girl to be able to proceed with education.
That is your approach as the Big Dream programs to ending child marriages, right?
Yes.
We are one of the few African countries with a dedicated national anti-FGM institution. We have the Prohibition of FGM Act. Are we seeing this translate effectively with how, as a nation, we are just encouraging these communities to end this harmful act? Because I've seen time and time again, this is a conversation that is not only domiciled in these 33 counties or counties that FGM is prevalent. Are we seeing this translate and serve us right?
Yeah, it's much better before I mean, now it is better because we have the act. And at least you realize that the places where we have been able to create awareness, the community know that it is unlawful to subject a girl to FGM. And so by having that act in place, it's a step towards progress. And this is one thing that the government has done so well by even having a Directorate of Anti-FGM with the CEO present, the chair present. That already shows that there is investment in addressing FGM issues. And that's why when I started, I said that progress has been made. Though we are not yet there, but progress has been made towards addressing FGM in the country. A case of Samburu, where we are implementing the Big Dream program, and it had really high prevalence rate of FGM to a tune of 73%. But through the interventions, together with working with the government and the anti-FGM board, we have been able to realize progress. And among our program beneficiaries, the percentage reduced by 67%, meaning that at least now the girls who are subjected to FGM are 13%. But also still we have a presence in Samburu, whereby we are aiming at ensuring that at least we realize a significant change of zero tolerance to FGM.
And for these communities that are still practicing FGM, at what age are girls most at risk in this day and age compared to maybe, say, like 10 years ago?
The girls, in terms of age, and because of the law, you realize that there are some parents who subject their girls to FGM as young as 5 years old, 4 years old, because they are aware that that once a girl reaches either adolescence or teenage, is a teenager, then the government will be on the watch. The stakeholders will be on the watch to check whether she will be subjected to FGM. So they try as much as possible to do it early to cover up, so that by the time the girl is reaching 12 years old, they've already prepared this girl to be married off. So sometimes they start the process as early as possible, But apart from that, also there's medicalization of FGM, whereby there are some parents who believe that if they take their child or their girl through the medicalization process, then it will reduce the level of risk. But all this is FGM. Why should we remove that part of the body from a girl? Yet it was created by God and it was confirmed to be okay.
And looking at the 2030 goals, and looking at the theme towards 2030, no end to FGM without sustained commitment and investment, then what needs to be done now more than ever in order to achieve this year's theme towards 2030?
Yeah, and what needs to be done first is to intentionally institutionalize prevention mechanism in teacher training. Because when a teacher has been trained on the same, he'll be able to cascade the same to the learners across the country. The same to institutionalizing the same to health institutions, whereby health practitioners, after going through the training and the prevention measures, they'll not be able to conduct even the medicalization process to the girls. And also just ensuring that the faith leaders the teachings that the faith leaders go through incorporate prevention of FGM and child marriage, so that any person who interacts with the population, anytime they talk about issues pertaining to health, pertaining to education, prevention of FGM and child marriage also comes in, so that all the children within the country, all the populations are aware that this practice is bad, it's retrogressive, and therefore it should be stopped. Apart from that, there's need for the government to also introduce conversation on prevention of FGM in the barazas within the community. Apart from the barazas, the nyumba kumis within the community, and also at the ward level. As World Vision, we have realized much progress at the grassroots level. When we interact with the community, when we sensitize them through our models, including empowered worldview models, community change model, we have realized progress. But now, when it comes to government commitment, of course, we acknowledge that there are laws that have been put in place, but how can we really be intentional in ensuring that these laws are implemented? And for the laws to be implemented, remember, Anne, it requires investment, and one of it is budgetary allocation. For you to consider something as a priority, you have to attach investment to it, and that's really how we'll be able to address FGM as a country.
Just expound on that point on law, because we do have laws, and somebody also dropped a comment on that we do have law exactly, but enforcement is the challenge. Then what are the biggest gaps in law enforcement? Who is dropping the ball in as far as just ensuring that the Prohibition of FGM Act is fully achieved, that perpetrators are held accountable, and everybody just caught, the fines are given, the people are arrested, because it talks about if somebody dies, then it's a life imprisonment. Then if somebody becomes disabled and all that, then of course it's life imprisonment as well. Who is dropping the ball?
So, the population or the society has attached FGM issues to, you'll find that there could be efforts towards addressing FGM within the community. The perpetrators are reported, the survivors are rescued, but now when it reaches at a point of prosecution or arrest level, then that is now where the law becomes reluctant. You realize that there are some corruption issues coming in. And so if we can just address the corruption that comes in, when let's say, for example, a female circumciser has been arrested and then released within even 2 days or 3 days, what will the woman do? She'll continue with the practice because she knows already that if I give even 10,000 or 15 or 20,000, I'll be released. And this is our culture, so I can still go ahead with it. So if we can be able to tighten implementation of these laws, whereby we are able to follow so that we don't have gaps to an extent where a female circumciser can be released just because of bribe somewhere. Remember, a child has been involved in this. Her child is in danger. So we should embrace the humanity bit so that we are able to ensure that the children are protected and not just focus on personal greed, I'll call it greed, in the expense of violation of a child's life. Yeah.
Right. We also saw a comment that mentioned something about underreporting, and I'd love to know how you, as World Vision, you're measuring behavioral change now that you're saying that progress in as far as ending FGM is good in the country. But beyond just statistics, you've told us there's a percentage that we have reached, but how are you really just going deep in community to measure behavioral change?
Yeah, one of the things that we do as World Vision, we have really been intentional in trying to make sure that the community takes the lead in bringing change. So as much as we are having programs like Big Dream program to end child marriage, after community sensitization and awareness creation, we make the community to take lead in bringing change in the localities they are coming from. And through the change, through them leading the change, then they end up owning the process. Like one of the pillars that we are implementing is behavior change, where we are having models that we take these community leaders through, and then we charge them with the responsibility to disseminate the same within the communities that are affected with this vice. And so we work very closely with elders within the communities, the gatekeepers within the community, the parents. We also work very closely with the teachers, the Ministry of Education, the Children's Services, so that all the stakeholders are involved in this. But apart from all the stakeholders being involved, let the community take the lead towards bringing change. Apart from the behavior change, we equally have 4 other pillars that we're implementing as World Vision under the Big Dream program. One is also education access, whereby we are supporting girls to be able to access education through payment of bursaries and also provision of scholastic materials and basic needs for these girls to be able to be retained in school. We equally have a pillar that is focusing on system strengthening, whereby we are looking at having the reporting and referral mechanism strengthened, and that's where we were talking about the perpetrators. When an issue has been reported, what should be taken up next is the prosecution of the perpetrators, and also ensuring that the survivor goes through psychosocial support and is able really to go back to school, especially in this case for the girls who are our target population. We also have economic empowerment, whereby we are saying that instead of cutting the girl to benefit economically, we are giving you this. Can you start this income generating activity so that you can allow the girl to proceed with education? Yeah, so apart from economic empowerment, we have the 5th pillar, which is water, sanitation, hygiene. We believe that when we have water close to community, when we have water close to schools, then it will enhance hygiene and sanitation among girls, and therefore the girls will not have to stay at home during their menses. And also, you know very well that in our communities where we live in, most of the time it is the girls who walk miles to go and get water, like 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, places like Turkana, Marsabit. So this time that is the girl wakes up in the morning to go and get water before going to school, we are saying no, let this girl be able to go directly to school. And that's why, sorry, we are bringing in the component of doing pipeline to school and also to communities, to health centers, so that the time that this girl should have gone to get water, she spends it in school. In most way, we have realized much results in this because it enhances performance of the girls. It enhances also the interest of the girl in education, and that has really made us realize more girls being able to be retained in school because at least they have more time to learn. Yeah.
Before we take some feedback from the question of the day that you're asking, Teresa, you've mentioned something about bursaries and how as World Vision you're trying to just distribute some bursaries to this pupils and students in areas that are practicing FGM. But do you believe that education is still the strongest protective factor to the girl child in these areas?
Yes, we believe so, because there are communities that we are still new, and you realize that they are changing mindset takes time, by the way. It's not like a 1-month thing or a 2-month thing. It takes time. And so for us to be able to change the mindset of the community members and also save the girl, we are doing it in 2 approaches. When we are having these community engagements, the barazas, whereby we are integrating information on child protection and still working with the parents through behavior change, we are saying no. As we are working with you through this journey, we have to ensure that the girl is in school. This girl probably has never had, like there are places where the girl already dropped out of school and she was now being prepared for FGM and then marriage. So we're saying as much as we are trying to bring in the behavior change component, let us also put another approach of ensuring that this girl is in school. And so as we are embracing behavior change and linking the parents to income generating activity to be able to support the school fee of this girl, remember for a business to stable up, it requires some time. So like we do it like for 1 year, 2 years, by the time we are getting to the 3rd year, we are telling the parents that now you need to start taking up the responsibility. Behavior change component has come in, and now the parent is also willing to support the girl to be able to go through education. So using holistic approach really help us be able to save the girl who is immediately at risk, and also now the parent whom we need now to take through the training on behavior change, and at least for her to be stable and ensure that he or she embraces education and allows the girl to proceed with education. Yeah.
All right. Once again, the question of the day is, as a society, are we doing enough to protect girls, or are culture and silence still winning? And I'd love to pose this question to you too before we get the first feedback. Teresa, are we doing enough to protect girls as a society, leave alone World Vision, or are culture and silence still winning?
It's not enough.
What needs to be done?
We have different contexts, and I'll say that there are some counties that are really progressing well. I had mentioned Samburu, I had mentioned part of Baringo, West Pokot, but you realize that there are some counties that are still lagging behind. And just allow me to mention, like, for instance, the Kuria community, where FGM is still really high. It means that the community is not yet committed towards ending this. But again, we are not losing hope. We are still remaining resilient, and we know that with time, with a lot of conversation, actually we have organized for an engagement with the county government and also the Ministry of Gender, Culture and Children Services and other stakeholders from the national level, just to have a conversation with the county so that we are able to really make some commitments towards ensuring that the community also see this as a vice against the girl child, and the need for them to really stop, because it needs to stop. As much as the FGM is linked to the price of a girl, like if a girl has undergone FGM, then the price is high, but it's a violation of human rights. And so we need more commitment from the community. You are right, there are places that still we are lagging behind.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's see some feedback as we proceed. Caprice Lightbringer anasema retrogressive cultures on practices such as FGM are waning, chiefly due to activism and multi-sectoral cooperation. However, even as we advise against and give girls and women choice over their bodies, we need to impart the morals and identities that existed in initiation practices. The practice can stop, but the teachings on morality, existence in society, etc. ought to continue. Honorable Boniface Oresi is telling somebody there that he's proud. Kalen Karimi, we have tried as a country curbing it, but FGM still exists in some society. Elijah Keres is saying a lot of emphasis has been put, and as a country, we are better than before. I wish the same energy is now redirected to boy child. Now the issue again is about the boy child, that even as we focus on empowering the girl child, I know the whole entire issue is about FGM, eradicating FGM, which is a vice. We cannot ignore that. But now the boy child is also coming in. Just to address this particular comment here, what are you doing to also have the boy child included, and especially to give them a seat at the table to be part of these conversations around ending FGM? First of all, are they important in these conversations?
The boy child, that is men and the boys, are very important. And as well, Vision, we have been intentional in ensuring that we incorporate them in our programming, because we can't win and we can't address any violation against women and girls when we leave the boy child or the men behind. And so a lot of wins we have gained from involving them, by the way. Even in Samburu, the declaration that was made in 2021 was made by the elders, majority of them being men. And so we have been able to make gains through involving the men. And so, yes, it is true, it is important. And in regard also to the issue of a boy child being left behind, as well, Vision, we have also been intentional in ensuring that even as we support girls with the bursaries, we'll try to make it like 70% girls, 30% boys, because we still know that the vulnerability of girls is very high. And so again, we know that there are boys also who experience some vulnerability, including cattle rustling and some insecurity issues, and them materializing to them dropping out of school. So it's not necessarily just 100% girls. We are equally intentional in ensuring that boys are incorporated in our programming. Yeah.
So are these girls in these communities being empowered to speak up about FGM? And I wonder how you protect them when you do. Because of course, when they come, when they say, they are at risk of undergoing FGM, most of the time they want to run away from such situations. Going back home would mean that maybe they will be at risk of losing their lives, or maybe just being chased away from home, or something even worse. How are you protecting them when they come out?
Yeah, we have two categories. There are categories. The first category is where we are having conversation with the parents, and there are some parents who are a bit flexible, and they'll support in terms of understanding and allowing the girl to go back to school. But there are parents who will be a bit hesitant, and in such cases, we take these girls to the rescue centers. And so as we take time to have conversation with the parents, which can be even 3 months, 6 months, will not allow the girl to go back home until there is amicable agreement with the parents that she'll not subject the girl to FGM. And so we have girls whom we are supporting as well, Vision, whereby they are in the rescue center. When they close school, they stay in the rescue center. For instance, the County of Baringo, we have a school which is Accurate Girls Secondary School, the first secondary school in Tiati, which was done by World Vision. And so most of the girls normally go there, especially when they're at risk of FGM and child marriage. In such scenario, we must take the girls through mentorship, we must take the girls through psychosocial support. And when the girl still feels unsafe to go back home, then we don't have to force the girl. It's a journey. So we work with the parent, this side we work with the girl until they reach an amicable agreement that the girl will not be subjected to FGM. But before that, still the girl will be at the rescue center. Yeah.
Have you had cases where it's the girl who agrees to FGM, like they're okay, undergoing the cut?
Yeah, we have heard of such cases, and majorly it's attributed by peer pressure, especially for the girls who have already undergone FGM. And one of the things that, apart from the peer pressure, one of the things that also contributes to that is the community. We have had instances where some communities will ridicule and circumcise a girl who has not gone through FGM. Like they give her names, bad names. They sometimes even They sometimes even attack her on the road. So those threats are some of the things that sometimes make the girl to give up and say, let me go for it. So apart from peer pressure, the community itself also is not favorable. It's not conducive to the girl. And that's what makes some girls to now say, let me go for it so that I can be like the other girls. And that's why we are saying that community is very much important. We can't address FGM. We can't address child marriage if the community is hostile to the girl who has not undergone FGM. Yeah.
No end to FGM without sustained commitment and investment towards 2030. That is the theme for this year. But how strong is collaboration between NGOs like yourself and, of course, the national government in enforcing, laws that are working towards eradicating FGM? And this is with as far as investment is concerned. How strong is the collaboration between you two?
And of course, there is collaboration, but it needs to be strengthened. Okay. It's not strong. And if it's strengthened, I think it will really support in terms of even being able to track the data and being able to know in terms of there are communities that conduct FGM in seasons. So we are able to know that in this season, this community is conducting FGM, and so which efforts are we supposed to pull together so that we can be able to reduce the prevalences of FGM in that community. And so linking it up with investment, of course, we can't achieve no to FGM or we can't mitigate FGM if we don't invest. And one thing that I have to share is that the donor space is not stable. And so the government or the communities have known that FGM is being addressed by NGOs and civil society organizations. So now that the donor space is not stable, funding is reducing, what is the government putting on in terms of budgetary allocation so that it can be able to protect the children within the country? Remember, these children who are undergoing FGM are Kenyan children. And so if it's affecting the Kenyan children, our feel is that the investment in child protection should be more because these children are the future, leaders within the country. If we don't invest in them now, then what leaders will we be having in the future? So much investment is called for at the county level, at the national level, so that we can be able to address FGM and child marriage. Yeah.
Donor funding is reducing. Who are your donors in eradicating FGM?
We have international donors. We have national donors. By the way, we have also donors within the country, and actually, in this financial year, we are really focusing more on ensuring that, this is World Vision in Kenya, the Kenyan population should be able to support the community more than even the international community. And if we support the community more, then it will mean that the international community will see the value we have in our own population. And so, yes, we have local donors and international donors who are supporting us in terms of addressing this. And we believe that if the government invests more in child protection, we'll also have more donors coming in to support the government. But if the government is reluctant, then we'll still be having unstable funds directed to child protection from the international community.
All right. Let's have more feedback. William Mutunga, all I can say is we are faring on well. Wycliffe Siboga, I think nowadays society is doing more on protecting girl child and ignoring boy child. But I congratulate our leaders out here who are committing themselves to ensure girl child is taken good care of. Wycliffe, World Vision has said you're not left behind, don't worry. Blank Jamu is saying we've come from afar on this FGM journey. Kiprop Sudi, the best. Let's continue with the same spirit. Do you have some more? What would you tell, girls who are, or just families, watching us this morning and, are still deep-rooted in this cultural practice, FGM, even as we mark, International Day of Zero Tolerance for FGM?
For the girls, especially who are at risk, I want to tell them that you still have a voice. You still have dignity, and there are individuals out here, including organizations like World Vision, who are there to support, and we believe that you still have the potential to realize your goal. Yeah, and for we equally have girls who are the voices of the community. And I just want to tell the girls who speak out on behalf of other girls to continue with the same, because it gives strength to the girls who are at risk. And one thing that we have seen working very well as an organization is peer-to-peer education really is working very well. And we are yielding more results from peer-to-peer education, girls mentoring other girls. And so let them keep on with the good work. And we are walking the journey together towards ensuring that every girl remains safe from FGM and child marriage. Yeah.
And now how can we, as everyday Kenyans, also come in to just help in girl child protection in these counties where FGM is quite prevalent, so that we can just take this as a national priority, each and everyone, that when we're talking about FGM, it's not only something that we leave for the people in Samburu, people in Baringo, these 33 counties. What can we do as everyday Kenyans?
First is to appreciate the girls who have not gone through FGM. Yeah, appreciating them, because it's an effort that they have. I mean, it was not easy. If the community is practicing FGM and there are few who did not go through it, then it's very important for us to appreciate the girls who did not go through it, and also to appreciate the parents who did not subject their girls to FGM. When we speak positive of the parents who did not subject their girls to FGM, then you realize that other parents will also come into the space and say no to FGM. Yeah, apart from that also is to ensure that we are having political goodwill. Yeah, my emphasis is into that, because politicians are influencers. And when they say something, the community listens. So making it more intentional in ensuring that we have more politicians talking about FGM, effects of FGM, will also help to ensure that we have a community that now embraces no to FGM. Yeah.
Once again, how are you celebrating this day, International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation?
Yeah, I had said that we are having presence in 33 counties. And so in the 33 counties, we have been able to select around 15 counties, whereby we are celebrating this day. We are bringing together stakeholders, children, community members, elders, and even the female circumcisers and even the survivors to be able to talk about this issue. And also through this platform, we are using this space to create awareness, but apart from that, to give voices to the voiceless, and also in partnership with the government, enabling the government to make commitments so that we are able to reduce this vice.
All right. That is Teresa Otieno, Programs Director, Big Dream to End Child Marriage, World Vision Kenya. Thank you so much for making time, Teresa, to speak to us this morning about International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. Of course, it's a call to action to every Kenyan, everyday Kenyan, to join hands to help in eradicating female genital mutilation. The goal is still 2026 or 2030, Teresa?
2030.
2026 tumeshindwa. All right, but we are hopeful that by 2030 we'll be able to talk and say that this is now behind us, that Kenyan girls are now safe from FGM. That brings us to the end of this conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Good morning. Enjoy your weekend.